Hey guys, it's Sarah here from Neybers again, and today we're going to talk a bit about how to use lighting and shadow effects to make your room look more realistic. So all you need to do in order to add an effect is just hit the plus in the bottom right hand corner as you would when you're adding a new product. And as you can see along the top, you've got some different options. I'm going to go to the effects section, and then you'll see we've got some wall effects, which we'll cover in another video, and then we've got some light effects and shadows as well. So I'll start with the shadows. You've got lots of different shapes here, so what you need to do is essentially just look for a shadow which suits the shape of the object that you're trying to make look like it has the shadow. So I'm going to do a little bit of work with that bucket that you can see on the floor in the picture. So I'm going to take probably this square type shadow, and again all you need to do is hit use and you'll see it pop up in your room. And then you can basically use this shadow in the same way that you would any of the other products. You can scale it down, you can move it slightly if something's at an angle. So I'm just going to tilt this slightly so it's sort of in line with the shape of the bucket, and just shrink it down to about the right size. And then what I want to do is actually make it look like it's behind the bucket. Obviously it's a shadow. So all I'm going to do is just use the layering button. So if I press it, the one on the left, you can see that the shadow's at the front. I want to put it behind the bucket, so I'm going to keep moving that to the back. And that looks about right. And then you can obviously shrink or make it larger and just get it to the right sort of size. And obviously it depends how deep you want your shadow to be as to where you place it. So I'm just going to give this one a little bit of a shadow just by shrinking it down. Cool. And as you can see, there's lots of other different sizes and shapes, so you can really try them out and which one works. If I maybe use this long rectangular one, and then I could use this underneath the sofa, so I'll rotate it and I'll sit it sort of around the bottom of the sofa, and then again I'm just going to push it so that it's behind the sofa. So that's a really simple, easy way to use shadows, and we've seen loads of Neybers users use the shadows in such cool ways to give really realistic effects. So definitely have a play around with them and see what you can do. In order to add lighting effects, again you just hit the plus in the bottom right and go up to lighting effects on the left. And you'll see that there's lots of different lighting effects. There's ones which actually look like sort of a window light. You've got ones that could look like they're coming out of a spotlight, and then you've just got some which are more like a lens flare type thing. So if you're taking a photograph, you can put those in the corner and they'll look like a cool flare. So I'm just going to try some really basic spotlights just to show you how you can use them. So I'm going to use this one on the right, and you'll see it's just dropped in. And then if you just sort of, I'm going to put this one up on the ceiling, then even though you can't necessarily see the spotlight, it looks like you've just got little spotlights in the ceiling, which is really cool. And again, you can use the options along the bottom, so I'm just going to duplicate that actually and just do a few of them, so you can do a line and make it look perhaps like you've got loads of different spotlights going on. And then you can also just try some of the other ones, so some are a bit stronger. We could try a window light effect, which looks like you've got a stream of light coming in from the window. So I'll try this one here, just click use and you'll see it pops up. And then what I want to do is align it with the window. So I'm going to actually want to align it with this window on the right. Obviously the light effect is actually coming in the wrong side, the wrong angle. So what I need to do is flip it. So I'll use the buttons along the bottom and I'll just hit the two arrows, which is to flip. And then you'll see it just comes from the other angle. So I'm going to line that up with the window, and again you can rotate it slightly if you want a sort of slightly different look. Obviously you want to make it look big enough so that it looks like it's coming out of the window and touching the floor. Just going to rotate that slightly, and then you'll see you get a really cool window lighting effect. So make sure you give those a go just by tapping the button in the product store and going over to effects, and try out the light effects and the shadows to make your room look more realistic.